Hello, everyone. I'm Rollin McCraty. I'm Director of Research at the HeartMath Institute. And I have with me today, I'm sure you all know, no introductions really needed, but Gregg Braden is here with me today. And, you know, Gregg, I was just realizing earlier today that this is 30 years that we've known each other and been working together. And, you know, you've really been one of the long-term supporters for HeartMath and the Institute and our research. And I just wanted to ask you, why is this so important to you?
Well, thank you for inviting me, Rollin, and a happy 30-year anniversary. I'll say that. You know, I became aware of HeartMath almost at its inception. The word of your research spread very quickly through our communities. And I was immediately drawn to what I was hearing. I am a degreed geologist. I'm an earth scientist, but I have a strong background in the life sciences, molecular biology and cellular biology. And there is a very, very extraordinarily powerful relationship between the planet we live on and our bodies. Back in the 1970s, when I was in school, very few people were talking about that. And one of the things that was so compelling about HeartMath is that you are the premier research institution that is pioneering the study of the relationship, not only of the heart in new and unconventional ways within our bodies, but also the heart and its relationship, our relationship to the planet that we live on and beyond, to all life, to our families, to our communities, to nations and beyond. And for me, that was the compelling piece of science, because you are science-based and you are working very, very hard to keep this information, this research, scientific. And what that does is it gives credibility and helps us to understand what works and what doesn't. You know, the bottom line for me, Roland, in all of this is the better we know ourselves, the better equipped we are to deal with whatever life brings to our doorstep. That was true 30 years ago, and it's certainly true right now. So the better we know ourselves, the healthier we can be to meet the challenges of life in a healthy way. And this is where the research has led us. And the better we know ourselves, the more we can support cooperation in families and communities and even between nations as we understand the principles that bring us together to facilitate that cooperation. So you turned me on the minute that I heard about it, and I've been juiced ever since. And there are a number of different projects, maybe you'll address these, that are supporting the global coherence research as well as the personal coherence research.
God, thank you, Gregg. What an awesome answer. I didn't expect you. I really appreciate all of your kind words there. You know, it's always been about, from HeartMath's perspective, and even in the research especially, it's been about developing, you know, programs and techniques and really deeper understandings of our interconnectivity as our more recent work. But it's always been about helping lift people and improve the lives of as many people as we possibly can in the world. And of course, this is our annual time of the year for our annual campaign for drawing some donations, because all of our work is really funded by donors, personal people and their passions to support it. And we're doing a lot of really neat work, I think, these days. It really have moved more from the personal coherence research really into how truly globally interconnected we are, energetically speaking. And you've probably heard me say it probably 1,000 times now, and things where we've spoken together and things about how what we feed the field really matters. And we're starting to see that in measurable ways. Anyway, that's what this year is really all about, is really funding the next generation of interconnectivity. So as you think about that, if there was one thing you would like to share with our audience, what would that be, Gregg?
You know, Roland, I'm going to share two things. First, I want to speak on a personal level. And I'll just be very honest with our audience. I recently recovered from COVID-19 and successfully, very, very quickly. And what I'm saying is even better than new, better than I was before I had this experience. A critical part of my COVID recovery kit were the techniques that I learned from HeartMath that I've practiced for over 30 years. They have become my go-to techniques when I want to be at my best. I'm going to invite our viewers, our listeners, just to think about this. Doesn't it make sense if your body is being tested with a novel contagion of some kind, that you'd want to be at your very, very best. And that was my thinking. Every day, twice a day, I was doing heart-brain coherence that allowed my body to be at its best so that it could do what it knows how to do in the presence of what I was experiencing. So on a personal level, I can speak to this personally. This stuff works, and it works really well, and that's why I've stayed with it for 30 years. But on a global level, I mean, where do you draw the line between where we end and the world begins? And we all know this has been a very, very difficult year for everyone. And what the science is showing, what HeartMath is showing us, is that what we do within our own bodies, coherence is good for us. It's really good for the world around us. It's really good to feed this field. So what we're doing is, as we become the best versions of ourselves, we're actually laying the foundation and putting into place the conditions so that we can contribute to the world in a meaningful way, in a beautiful way, in a powerful and deeply truthful way. It's not based on wishful thinking. The science is showing us our hearts are deeply connected to this field. So what I would say is, if the kinds of things that Rollin and I are talking about, if they're meaningful to you, and if they touch your life in some way, and if HeartMath has already touched your life in some way, I'm going to invite you to participate whatever way you can. I mean, there are citizen science projects, there's a global coherence initiative, there's a website that has so much information, absolutely free, really powerful research, so that you can see the science. If you can contribute financially, if you're able to do that, that's all appreciated, because all of these things work together to help us to become the best versions of ourselves, and Rollin, ultimately to create the best world possible.
Absolutely.
And that's why we do what we do.
Yeah. And that's really what it's all about, is creating a world we all want to live within, where we really can rise above our biases and our own personal worldviews, to where we can just get along with each other. And really move to a planet where we don't have all the turmoil and the separation, but where we can cooperate and really live in harmony and let each other be.
Well, I agree, Roland. So as we close this time together, I just want to send my love to you and to all of my friends and family at HeartMath and everyone that's watching today. Thank you for sharing a little bit of your day. Our love is going to you as well. We're in this together, and we're all working together in many, many capacities. So if you're drawn to this kind of work, you've got a resource. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Come and find out the science, find out the techniques, and thank you again for helping us to be the best that we can be.
Yeah. Thanks, Gregg. I really appreciate you showing up and having a brief conversation. And to all of the donors and people out there that have supported us over the years, that's why we still exist and why we've been able to do all the things we have done. Major appreciation to all the supporters, whether it's financially, energetically, or just telling your friends about us. It's really heartfelt appreciation to all of you.